Oh, for the love of God. For once, we have actually got the timing correct on a live stream feed in terms of the music. Ahoy, everybody. Welcome along. This is a little bit of a special edition Waste of Water Sports stream because we obviously do not normally do boxing. I don't care about boxing, I've got to be honest. So that's going to make this extremely interesting, right? I'm very interested in this one, though. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson coming up. There is still another undercard match to come, a prelim, which I believe is a women's match. I've got to be completely honest. The only women's boxing that I've seen in my lifetime is women's topless boxing, and that has not been broadcast on Netflix. And it's obviously not at all about the fight. But I digress. Welcome along for this one. It's very nice to have you along. Are we up and running? Yes, we are. Okay, can we hear me? Don't tell me I've been muted this whole time. That'd be embarrassing. No, I'm all good. We're up and running. Live chat is active. And we are getting ourselves ready for this one. Tyson versus Paul. What have we got happening over in the Discord? Nothing at the moment. All right. We are patiently awaiting the arrival of the one and only Rick Grimes. He is, of course, from Western Australia, so there is a hell of a time difference, which does make coordinating these streams very, very difficult. So as soon as he pops in, though, we'll bring him on because he's a lot more knowledgeable about these fighting sports than myself. I really don't know the first thing about it, but I've got to tell you, I probably know a little bit more than Rosie Perez, who was an interesting choice for commentator. Wangu Bunda, ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. Come on, Tyson, says Wangu Bunda. Rick Grimes abandoned us like Jamesy boy. I think James is just not interested in... He wasn't interested in the Pacific Championship, which is fine. A lot of people were not interested in that. But yes, Jamesy boy has indeed been very noticeable in his recent absences. That's for sure. Who else have we got there? Somebody posted earlier. CJ Dunn, ahoy there. CJ Dunn has said any animosity between the two camps. Any legitimate animosity? Probably not. Maybe a cheeky post-match fight. Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me, to be perfectly honest. On the Discord, indeed. Pacific Championship was fire. It was a lot of fun. Gamer Mel, ahoy there. Welcome along. But I thought this would be cool. Something a little bit different. It's generated a lot of interest. UFC says, I have animosity toward Jake Paul for being a white devil. Gamer Mel, the Tyson-Paul fight will be in approximately 1 hour's time. Yes, 1 hour's time. Look, I figured, basically, long story short, we had no idea what was happening with this. It was a very last-minute decision that we would even cover it. Honestly, I would never have paid for this. I'll be brutally honest. This did not interest me enough that I would have paid for it. But the fact is, I'm a Netflix subscriber already. It's on Netflix, so why the hell not? If I had to pay for it, I wouldn't have done it, I'm quite sure. But we'll see. Since I'm on Netflix anyway, and it's on Netflix exclusively, why the hell not? Rugby league season's over. Rugby union is not on until the wee small hours of the AM. So let's get some activity happening on the channel, no matter how small that activity may be, because I do wonder just how many boxing fans are out there. Subscribe to us already. And it's not something that we're going to be covering on the regular, so I can't imagine that we'll pull in too many new subscribers out of this one. It's just a little bit of fun, something to do on a Saturday afternoon for myself. A little something to do. How many hours do I sleep each night? Well, this question will have huge impact on the fight, I'm sure. But I don't necessarily sleep during the nighttime. But I understand, obviously, the context of your question. Look, I try to get 8 hours. Doesn't always happen. But now, of course, I've taken the leap. I've taken the punt. I no longer work full time. Streaming has become my full-time job, so to speak. So I sleep around the scheduling of games that are on. Plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. Exactly right, Richard Trainer. As depressing a thought as that is, it's very, very true. Richard Trainer asks how I've been. I've been very good, Richard. How about yourself, mate? Wow. Okay, so we have got coming up next before the big main event. We've got Taylor versus Serrano in the women's match. The first thing about it. Whoops. Paul versus Tyson. Now, going back to what I was talking about earlier. All right. I'm assuming that we still know who Rosie Perez is. I'm guessing. We know who Rosie Perez is. As a matter of fact, there is a particular movie back in the day, back in the 90s, I want to say. Back in the 90s, right? There is a particular movie Rosie Perez is in, and there would be a highly, highly paused, there'd be a lot of destroyed VHS videotapes, I'm certain, of a particular scene from, I want to say, the movie was White Man Can't Jump, where she played the partner, the girlfriend of Woody Harrelson's character in the original White Man Can't Jump. Don't get me started on the Disney remake. But I digress. But honestly, one of Rosie Perez's things, one of her claims to fame, I suppose, is a unique voice. That's how I would nicely describe it as. A unique voice. I want to know. Now, obviously, this fight is exclusive through Netflix, so that rules out probably a lot of the well-known mainstream commentators. It probably does. Being Netflix exclusive, they've probably had to go out and find new people, and that's why we have a commentary team. You couldn't even make this up. A commentary team including Rosie Perez and Zedric the Entertainer. But I want to know who was sitting there in that room making these decisions and going, you know what? Obviously, all these people are ruled out, but we need a commentary team for this Tyson versus Paul fight. Somebody legitimately rose their hand and said, you know what? Rosie Perez would make a great commentator. Nobody at all would get irritated by listening to her voice for 3 hours long. And what's worse is, not only did somebody suggest that, somebody agreed to it and greenlit it. Unbelievable. I mean, what? Just to give things context, the only thing that could possibly complement Rosie Perez on commentary perfectly well would be if Fran Drescher is doing the ring announcing. I'm pretty sure that they are if that were the case, they would clearly be attempting to make this the most muted telecast in the history of anything, streaming, TV, whatever. But I digress. That's mean. I didn't want to start the stream with nastiness, but Mookie, ahoy there. Neutralizer, ahoy. If Mike Tyson loses, it's rigged. Here we go. I'm going to focus on this for a second. Neutralizer, if Mike Tyson loses, it's rigged. Now, I have long spoken on streams prior about how I believe, and this is not a criticism at all, by the way. This is not criticism in the slightest. The Paul brothers know how to find fame. They know how to find fortune. clearly. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have long said that if their boxing activities are not completely staged, there's certainly a level of skullduggery, shall we say, going on in the background. And once again, before any of Jake Paul's millions and millions of 17 and 18-year-old female fans jump down my throat, it's not a criticism. That's actually not a bad thing. These sons of bitches know how to find fame and fortune, and more power to them, I say. They know how to milk every single penny out of the entire world, and God bless them for it. Now, I've rambled on so much, I've completely forgotten my point. Oh, yes. So, basically, just to Neutralizer is saying if Mike Tyson loses, it's rigged. Now, we all know my theory is that it's probably rigged anyway, but let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. Mike Tyson is not regularly active in the boxing world anymore. I'm sure that he knows how to box still. I'm sure that for his age, he is in great shape. But let's be completely honest. If we just put our thoughts and our opinions aside for one moment, and let's just treat this like a completely legitimate fight, let's be brutally honest. All that Jake Paul has to do is just let Tyson wear himself out. There's no shame in the fact that Jake Paul is going to be way more fit and way more athletic given the age difference. He will be able to go longer. He just has to survive those early rounds, and then Mike Tyson will be out of gas. Let's be brutally honest about that. Mike Tyson, his best chance of victory is to just come exploding out of the gates and put Paul on his butt as quickly as possible. And that is no disrespect to Iron Mike Tyson at all. It's just, I think we do have to look at it with just a little bit of common sense. That's not to say that Tyson can't win, obviously. He could win this in the early rounds. I'm sure that he can still hit like a semi-trailer truck. Certain of it. He could knock Paul out with all legitimacy. Oh, what's happened? All right, Rosie Perez has been shown the door. They obviously listened to me. They actually patched into the stream. Richard Trainer says, I do not think any of you understand the mindset of a real heavyweight boxer. I don't, Richard. I don't understand the first thing about boxing. I've been honest about that from the start. I said this is a special stream. I don't know the first thing about it. I do not watch boxing. I do not care for boxing. I don't understand the mindset of a real heavyweight boxer at all. Steven's uncle says apparently there's a clause Tyson can't knock him out. And if anybody has seen, it's actually been going around X at the moment. Supposedly the script has been leaked on X. Somebody muted poor old mate's microphone. Jerry Jones. His mic. You've got to speak up, Jerry. Nobody can hear you. You know what's actually happened there? This is one thing I do understand, Richard, is live broadcasting. And what's happened there is somebody in the back with the mixer, we're taking into account the crowd noise. They were applying the noise filter and everything, and they over-applied it, not realizing that poor old Jerry can't speak that loud anymore. That is one thing I certainly can comment on. Is live broadcasting. That's exactly what happened there. A little bit of a technical glitch with the Netflix feed. So we are patiently keeping an eye on Discord to see if Rick Grimes pops in. Rick Grimes over there in Perth. a few hours behind, I do believe. 2 or 3 hours. Bobsy, ahoy, mate. How are you, sir? Hey, Bobsy, are you excited? Just to take it off topic for a moment, just very quickly going off topic of the boxing and going back into the main source of content for this channel, Rugby League. I'm very curious to know, Bobsy, as a Roosters supporter, how excited Bobsy may or may not be at Ben Hunt signing for the Roosters. Which has happened, by the way. It's just a mere formality at this point. Neutralizer asks who I tipped. Look, I would love to see Tyson. By the way, please don't get me wrong. All the pre-match talk. Oh, it's official, Bobsy. His meeting with the Broncos this week is a mere formality. It's just there. It's just there to make it seem like. It's just there to make it seem. I mean, basically, the Broncos cannot. Long story short, the Broncos have thrown all their salary cap money at Payne Haas, Ezra Mam, and Reece Walsh. They don't have the money to be able to sign Ben Hunt, whereas the Roosters have a war chest, and the Roosters are also looking to offload the Cheese. So the Cheese is going to be looking for a new club. That's another little behind-the-scenes thing that hasn't been officially announced yet, but is happening. But anyway, I digress. So, boxing. Yes, Richard, honestly, I don't know. This is a very special stream. We do have potentially coming into this stream, once he wakes up or joins us, the Rick Grimes. The Rick Grimes is our resident fighting bloody fight sport expert. So he'll be coming on a little bit later once he pops in. We really didn't establish an official starting time for this at all. So we'll see. We'll see when he pops in. He knows a lot more about it than I. Maybe we should, Richard. We should have got you on. I don't know. I'm not even saying that sarcastically. The combat correspondent. I love it. Party Jesus in with the marketing material. Rick Grimes, the combat. I mean, he knows all about combat. Let's face it, all those years fighting zombies. But there is one more bout to get through. One more bout to get through before the Tyson versus Paul main event. Well, I think one thing we can say for certain, and this is no disrespect to myself, this is just brutal honesty. One thing that we can certainly say is either one of these guys would knock me out in the first round. Dan's pants. Tyson is an old man. This is sad. Paul will hurt him. Captain Redbeard, ahoy there, mate. Captain Redbeard says if it goes long, it's not in his favor. Absolutely. Even though the rounds are short, I believe. Once again, somebody more knowledgeable about boxing can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that these are normal round lengths. Happy to be corrected. I'm more than happy to be corrected about anything today, by the way. I have said right from the very start of this stream, right from the very announcement of the fact that we would be covering this just for a little bit of fun, I don't know the first thing about boxing. And I'm not ashamed of that at all. It's just not, it's not a sport that I ever got into. Steven's uncle says I'd fight either of them for 500K and a slab of Lions Reds. I tell you what, see, ultimately, whatever happens here, honestly, these guys are both going to be laughing all the way to the bank, and good luck to them. Would I accept this amount of money to take some punches from one of the Paul brothers? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you what I would do. Here's what I would kind of, in a way, liken this to. Now, let's ignore everything else. Let's just ignore all the talk about whether it's rigged or not. Who cares at this point? Let's continue to discuss as if this is a perfectly legitimate thing. Now, if I had the fame and notoriety of Jake Paul, either from being on the Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, whichever one that the Paul brothers were on, where they got their initial hit of fame, and then cross that over to a YouTube following, just like they have, and I had this amount of sway and power, I would personally love to set up, and this is the only thing that I can liken it to, speaking personally, the only thing I can liken it to. I don't talk myself up a lot, but I am actually a fantastic pool player. Love pool, 9-ball, snooker, you name it. Any of those balls on table sports, I am pretty sensational at. So, the only reason that I never did it professionally is because back when I was young, there were zero pathways to professionalism here in Australia. Zero. My parents would have had to have shipped me off overseas to Europe, and there was no way they were doing that. But I digress. Here is what I liken this to. The Paul Tyson fight would be essentially like me hitting up Efren Reyes. Efren Reyes, one of my all-time favorite pool players. I would hit up Efren Reyes and challenge him to a 9-ball battle. That'd be a hell of a lot of fun. So for me, not a boxing fan, that's how I liken this match, this bout. God, see? I called it a match instead of a bout. That's how little I know about this. Yeah, this is definitely a stream where I strongly needed a co-host for. Come on, Rick. Rick, where are you, mate? I'm dying out here. Cedric the Entertainer right now. Is that somebody, am I alone? Is that somebody we just haven't seen for a very long time? Bobsy has got... Why are the odds for Tyson winning so crap? $2.50 is crazy. $2.50. Hey? What are my odds? My odds... for Tyson to win... Oh, yeah, $2.80. Okay. Only slightly better. And they literally just dropped to $2.75. It looks like there's going to be some casual bets coming in for Mike Tyson at the back end of this one as we get ever closer to the start of the bout. Still one more match to get through. I called it match again. One more bout to get through in the undercard, and then we'll be ready for the main event. Taylor versus Serrano 2. Yeah, so apparently this is a rematch. And there's some championship on the line as well. Should be a little bit of fun. Captain Redbeard says, I thought they were normal lengths, but there is only 8 instead of 12. Oh, okay. Right. So regular length of a round. It's just that there's not as many rounds, which is probably potentially not going to be an issue. If anything that we've spoken about in the pre-stream is to go by. Rosie, honestly, I hate to keep banging on about this, and this is no disrespect at all, But how, for the love of God, did Rosie Perez get this gig? I am so curious to know. It is so bizarre. How are you doing? Anyways, Captain Redbeard, nice to see you again. How would you... What would you give your Cowboys out of 10 for this season? And what would you give them as a chance for next year? What are their chances for next year out of 10? 10 being the best. And what would you score them this season out of 10? Absolutely no disrespect at all, but I would have given them a 5 for this year because, in my opinion, whilst they did get to the finals, right, they did severely underperform. Wangu Bunda says 10 2-minute rounds. Oh, so there's 10. Okay. 10 2-minute rounds. We'll get it figured out eventually. This will be interesting to see this fight. There they are warming up backstage. One is going through the motions. One is just casually roaming around the room, having a little bit of a bounce now. Katie Taylor, that is, just strolling around, looking very cool, calm, and collected. Amanda Serrano, she's got the game face on. She's throwing the left and right jabs, warming up. You wouldn't want to punch yourself out back there in the changing rooms. Mind you, my whole pre-game ritual would be probably, now, okay, Katie Taylor is getting into it now. So once again, knowing nothing about this sport, but it does look like the Irish lass has the reach advantage in this one. Don't know what that's worth. Don't know if that means anything or not. Time will tell, I suppose. I should get one of those microphone cubes. They look cool. It'd be a valuable addition to the studio. All right. Oh, God bless you, Rosie Perez. All right. Ways to World of Sports. I'll have myself a quick break here as we count down for Tyson versus Paul. I've kind of run out of things to say, to be perfectly honest. And I also need to have a quick whiz. So I'll be right back after this. Oi! Ah, oh, God. Okay. Two-minute rounds. No 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell. The fight is official after 4 rounds. Saved by the bell. There is nothing that Zach Morris can do for you. You cannot be saved by the bell. Amanda Serrano. Honestly, these ladies have bigger guns than I do. That is insane. Richard Trainer, I fear not. This is a quote, by the way. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Richard, that's a quote from Bruce Lee. This is why I got so excited there for a second. Suss this out, Richard. This is one of my prized pieces. One of my prized pieces of my collection. The Bruce Lee bait exclusive. Very, very cool, that one. What a legend. What a man. Captain Redbeard says this season of 5? Okay, so we agree. Next season, hopefully an 8. I completely understand. I completely understand, Captain Redbeard. I would like to think that my team could be an 8 as well. All right, as we said, one more bout to get through before the main event. Tyson versus Paul. Amanda Serrano. Oh, sorry. Serrano. I had to roll the R. The real versus the fake. She's wearing a cap that says the real versus the fake. She's also wearing on her vest there. Why is she wearing a bulletproof vest to the ring? Is somebody going to shoot at her? Believe in yourself with the B and the U highlighted in red. The rest of the text in white. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders flank either side of the aisle. This will be a whole lot of fun. AS on the back, that logo. It kind of looks like an R. Did anybody tell her that? I wonder. Your AS logo looks a little bit like an R. Maybe that's just in case she ever transitions. She'll go from Amanda to Richard and the logo still works. I don't know. I will probably break away in to talk about rugby league fairly often. I'll be honest. They are now mentioning the bulletproof vest on the TV commentary. I noticed that straight away. It was very, very odd to wear a bulletproof vest out. What championship is this for, this one? Let's find out. Serranos versus Taylor. Oh, this is the rematch. Yeah, okay. This is the rematch. But I want to know what title it's for. Because I understand in boxing that there are about, I'm not even joking when I say I believe and understand that in boxing there are like 7,000 different title belts in each division. I could be exaggerating that ever so slightly. I don't know. I don't know what belt they're fighting for. But anyway, yes, it does make it a little bit what's the word? It does kind of water it down a little bit when there are so many title belts. Well, I can tell you who the crowd is going for here because the cheers from the crowd as Taylor gets ready to come to the ring. They are clearly behind the Irish lass in this one. The crowd reaction for Katie Taylor, certainly, it was noticeably louder. A unification welterweight, women's welterweight unification bout. Well, there's either a train approaching or a train is approaching the station, or that was just, hurry up, come on. What are you waiting for? Head down to the ring, woman. Oh, God. Okay, I could probably get in trouble for saying things like that in 2024. Ah, bollocks it. Bollocks it, who cares? Shane Gilmartin, Ireland's biggest sports star. Katie Taylor. Oh, I would have thought Ireland's biggest sports star would have been Brian O'Driscoll. Yeah. Sorry, big rugby union fan. This is a very. Here's the thing. Now, if I were a competitive fighter, this would probably be my march to the ring as well. Just so cool, calm and collected, casual. Down to the ring she marches. She is bouncing around just enough to keep herself warm, but she is not overexerting herself. As we see sometimes with these boxing entrances, UFC entrances, for some reason they come flying out like they're the Ultimate Warrior. Katie Taylor is just having a casual stroll down to the ring, and all the while, by the way, that's a whole lot of belts right there, I've got to say. One of those belts, they're not unifying all of them, I'm assuming. All the while, as she walks down to the ring, so cool, calm and collected. This is giving time for Amanda, who is currently in the ring, came out first, the challenger, to just cool down a little bit. This is really, really smart. As I said, I don't know the first thing about this sport, but that seems very, very smart to me. Just a casual stroll down to the ring. You've had your entrance. You got yourself all pumped up, all worked up. We're just going to bring things down a little bit here. We're going to have this fight on my terms, on my pace. I love it. Marley Prime, ahoy, mate. Marley Prime asks why Will Kennedy got dropped for next year. Well, the Sharks are very, very desperate to hold on to Daniel Atkinson. I don't think they're going to be able to hold on to Daniel Atkinson. I think Atkinson will be going to the Dragons to replace Ben Hunt, who is signed with the Roosters. If they're going to keep Atkinson, though, the Sharks, that is, they're going to have to throw some coin at him. And in order to throw some coin at him, they probably need to push Kennedy out the door. Why is Hines 6 and not 7 next year? Because Braden Trindle is a much better 7, and he has just re-signed. I think common sense has to prevail here. Nico Hines is not a 7. Don't be surprised if you see Atkinson and if the Sharks can hold on to Atkinson, do not at all be surprised if you see Atkinson and Trindle playing 6 and 7, and Hines is back at fullback. We have to accept the fact Nico is not a 7. We've tried, he failed. We've got to try and find value out of his monstrous contract that runs up to 2029, I believe. Got to try and get some value out of him because we get nothing at 7. But I digress. Now, both of these girls would knock the absolute bollocks off of me. I got to tell you. They would beat the ever-loving piss out of me. Either one of these two. The champion, Katie Taylor, I've got to say, I was so impressed with just how cool, calm, and collected that Katie Taylor looked on her march down to the ring. So much so that I would have to say she has got my overwhelming support here. Will she come through with the goods? Or have I just completely jinxed it? Have I put the mark of death on her? I love how Party Jesus, he might not want me to say this, I'm not sure. But I love how Party Jesus has popped up randomly in the chat room, has obviously got this on the TV, and is also finding time in amongst all of that to be playing Farming Simulator 25. That is a very impressive amount of multitasking. I feel like the crowd support is largely in favor of Katie Taylor. I'm probably more impressed about that. The fact that Satisfactory is getting a rest. They bump gloves and we're getting ready to go for this one. This is the last bout before the main event. Tyson versus Paul. Coming up very, very soon. UFC says, has anyone ever told you your voice makes them horny? Yeah, quite a few people. It's actually quite a regular piece of feedback that I get. I've had people tell me that I should do audiobooks of like 50 Shades of Grey and stuff. But it's always the way, like these girls that tell me this, right? They're like, oh, you've got a very sexy voice. Yeah, you should do audiobooks of 50 Shades. But do not ever show your face, though. It should be radio. You've got a radio voice and a face for radio, too, is what they always tell me. A little bit of a feeling out process here in the first round of 10. Neither fighter getting an advantage. It seems like to me, as a first timer, it seems like Serrano has more speed But Taylor has got the better form, the better reach. Just feeling each other out at the moment. Looking for some form of advantage here. And that will largely be what this first round is, with 30 seconds to go. Backed into the corner here, Taylor. Serrano has a wild swing. But I don't think anybody's really made any contact yet. Nothing flush anyway. Oh, that was a nice left hook. And another left hook. And Taylor is rocked here at the back end of this first round. A couple of big left hooks. And the champ is rocked at the end of that first round. Now, what happened there? Can somebody explain to me what just happened there? Because the bell rang. And I know that there's this rule. They showed it in the pre-bout stuff. There is this rule, not saved by the bell. But I would have thought that the bell pretty unanimously signals the end of the round, right? Can somebody explain that to me? They kept fighting, though, when the bell rang. And she got absolutely caught flush, did Taylor, with a left hand from Serrano. It was a brutal left hook. Boom! Rocked her back into the ropes. But I'm very curious about that. The bell clearly rung. And it looks like the judges' unofficial scorecard, of course, here, but they're giving this one 10-9 to Serrano, and Serrano has started the second round as well, backing Taylor into that far corner. This is a little bit of a bulldozing at the moment. Taylor trying to fight back. Not really landing a whole lot. 24 thrown, only 7 landed from the champ. Right, it's all right. See, I'm trying to fluff my way through this and make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. We're doing okay. Referee gets in now, separates the two. These rounds are just flying by. Justin Liu, ahoy there. For this match, look, I was going for Katie Taylor, but it looks like Serrano. If Serrano can go the full distance, dominating this one. Hamish McKenzie, ahoy there, mate. The rain is indeed fabulous. Is Serrano just trying to keep Taylor at bay here, backing her into the corner again. All right. So the bell sounds just randomly, it seems like, randomly towards the end of a round. And then the referee will step in once he gets the word. There's a second bell. Okay. There is a second bell. I understand that now. I did wonder what was going on when the bell rang and they didn't separate them. So the bell rings somewhere around 10 seconds remaining in the round, and then the second bell rings to actually pull them apart. And I would have to say that that round went to Serrano as well. The opening 2 rounds on points, probably going the way of the challenger, I dare say. UFC says Katie Taylor looks like Michelle minus 50 pounds. Oh, jeez. And also just much, much smaller as well. It's funny, whenever people meet Michelle, it's always like, oh, I didn't expect you to be so tall. Straight back into it now, round 3. 2 more minutes. I would say that the first 2 rounds have gone in favor of Serrano, and it looks like that's what the unofficial scorecard... Wow, maybe I do know what I'm talking about. A smidge. They've agreed with me here. Serrano on points in the first 2 rounds, just. And here to start the third, backing Taylor into a corner. Taylor ducks, tries to shorten the space, and they've locked up, and a couple of cheap little jabs there. If Taylor can maintain the space, it seems like she has the advantage. Serrano looking to tighten things up and get those hooks in. Just like this, shortening the distance, getting up on the ropes. Referee in to separate them again. Backed into the corner again. Taylor is just letting herself get backed into these corners because she is apparently trying to keep the space. She does seem to have the reach advantage. So keeping the space, obviously crucial in that respect. And a nice little flurry there from the champ. I don't know how many of those landed, but she has left it. The hands are starting to drop. We're only 3 rounds in. The hands are starting to drop. Serrano seems on top. There goes the bell. 13 seconds away from the end this time. So I'm guessing that that's what the whole not saved by the bell thing means. They'll just ring that bell randomly anywhere from 10 to maybe 15 seconds left in the round, just to let them know that the end of the round is approaching. And then they throw down the final bell. It's because it's gone. I think it was about 9 seconds in the first round. It was 12 seconds in the second, and it was 13 this time. As we go backstage for Iron Mike Tyson, an interview. And he doesn't seem to have a whole lot to say at the moment. And why would he? He's going to let the punchers tell the story there. And he gave the presenter a kiss on the cheek. Hey, oh, he's not wearing any pants. Mike Tyson is not wearing any pants in the backstage area. And we got a nice shot of his ass as he walked away there. This is all happening live on Netflix, people. That is the last thing I was expecting. Mike Tyson with his ass hanging out. Backstage, he's clearly not ready for the fight yet. And again, to start this round, Serrano has backed Taylor into the corners. And some good jabs there from Taylor. A good an uppercut from Serrano. That made contact. And now a flurry of blows lefts and rights. And a jab that connects. Flush to the face. Taylor's rocked here. She has to shorten the space and does. And they back into the ropes. Referee will get in and separate. But Serrano is well on top here. Taylor just needs to get a big shot in here. Because at the moment, Serrano is dominating on points decision, I would have to say. Taylor is going to need a knockout. At this point, well, a little bit of blood. There's some claret. A crimson mask on Serrano. She's been cut over the right eye. Will that be a turning point? Taylor seems to have a little bit more enthusiasm now as the warning bell sounds for the end of round 4. And now Taylor gets a couple of big left hooks in, attacking that wound where Serrano is already bleeding. And there is the bell to end the round. And I've got to say that Taylor fought back in that round. A perfect moment to take a timeout. And Serrano will get some treatment. Busted open over that right eye. That is a big gash. James, ahoy, mate. And at the back end of that round, Katie Taylor started targeting that cut. She might just get the nod here in this round. She might just get the nod here in round 4, but would still be behind in points, I would dare say. The James has got Tyson with a round 2 knockout. I would dare say that if we look at this as a legitimate fight, Tyson to win is probably going to have to do it quick and early. Round 5 has begun, and Taylor did fight back in that last round, but it won't be enough just on points. She's got to take advantage of that cut now. She's done well to hang in there and close the space. I completely understand the mechanics of it all. The James, I was agreeing with you. Tyson will absolutely not go the distance. Yeah, I can't imagine it. Serrano now backing Taylor into the corner again. They lock up. Referee comes in and separates them. And the blood has started gushing out of that wound above the right eye once more. Aloha Kitty. Ahoy there. They lock up again in the middle of the ring. Round 5 has really been a bit of a stalemate so far. Serrano backing Taylor into the corner again. I actually heard rumors, James. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to the rumors as the bell sounds, signaling that we're close to the end of round 5. And there is the final bell. We're half the distance in this one. And I'd say that that round was a little bit of a stalemate. I've got Serrano leading this still. Serrano slightly ahead on points, I would dare say, at this stage. So I've heard that that Mike Tyson will be coming out to an Eminem song. I don't know if there's any truth in that. All right, let's have a quick break here. No, not Eminem. Wasn't Eminem was Eminem part of the Kamala Harris campaign? He might not be seen in public for a little while. Because apparently they're all leaving. They were all supposed to piss off out of America after Donald Trump landslided the election. But anyway, a minute and a half here to go in round 6, and Serrano again backing Taylor into the corner with a flurry of blows. At least 50% of them landed. And that cut above the right eye This might force this fight to be stopped. Oh, we do have timeout. There is so much blood gushing out of that cut. That is a lot of blood that is gushing out of the eye of, above the eye of Amanda Serrano. Oh my God, that is a gusher. It is busted open. Oh, that is flesh split apart that we can see there. No, this can't go on, surely. This can't go on. It's gone past 4 rounds. And she continues on. Serrano. She is powering on despite the blood gushing out of the eye. They've given her the magic spray. But she is clearly rattled with it. Taylor keeps landing left hooks right on that cut. That's just going to make her bleed out even more. And now both fighters, both ladies, come out firing. Taylor, though, round 6 of 10, that cut might prove to be the decisive blow. As the bell sounds, the warning bell, to the end of round 6. Taylor backs off, now tries to land another blow. She realizes, I think, Taylor realizing she's just got to see this out. The tide has turned in this one. That cut is going to become a big talking point. They're trying their best to mend that up, but that is a gash and a half, that one. Let's see. Oh, they've bumped heads. That busted it open. They butted heads, and that completely ripped that gash apart. Unintentional, it seemed. I don't think that was a purpose headbutt. But they're looking to do anything they can here to close that up. Oh, God, poor Amanda. Split in half with that one. Round 7 of 10. And Taylor backed into the corner again. And Serrano, there's blood now on the shoulder of Taylor, and that would be Serrano's blood. But both fighters now going toe-to-toe. The blood all over the face of Serrano. But Serrano is still ahead on points, I would say, even this deep into the contest. Taylor has got to take advantage of that gash. Got to open it up again. Serrano closes up the distance. Referee in to separate them. Oh, this has been a lot of fun, this one. I've enjoyed this. The last minute now of round 7. Taylor, her hands are starting to drop again. Caught with a right hook. Serrano clearly ahead on points, right? Throwing a lot more punches. Now a nice flurry from Taylor. She landed a few there. And now a left hook. She's coming back into this. Taylor, the champion. Another left, caught a flush. And a right this time. As the bell sounds, the warning bell for round 7. And they lock up. I think both fighters just want this to end this round. And there is the bell to end the round. Taylor is just hanging in there. Serrano's got that cut above the eye, which is going to prove very difficult to overcome the longer this goes on, I would dare say. I've got Serrano winning this one at the moment. Oh, the right flush. A right uppercut from Serrano. Flush. Blood everywhere. Oh, brutal. Round 8. Ever closer now to the main event. Paul versus Tyson. Serrano winning on points. Taylor has got to open up that wound. Serrano, though, she is not letting it affect her. Backing Taylor into the corners. Referee will get in and separate this one. 1 minute to go in the 8th round. Oh, and Serrano's busted open again. She did get contact. Taylor did get contact this time, and she's been warned by the referee. The referee has thrown out a warning. Taylor got contact right to that cut. With the head again. One time is a coincidence, and I guess what they're saying is the second time is an official warning. She is trying to open up that cut. Two rounds remaining. Serrano winning on points. Taylor comes out with a flurry. This is what she's got to do now. She's not going to win this on points, but she can rock Serrano with some flush hits. 17 seconds to go. The warning bell sounds. The referee. The referee has taken a point. The referee has taken a point away from the champ. Well, some controversy here. The referee has deducted a point. Serrano clearly winning this on points then. A crucial last serve. That is disgusting. Why are they putting a close-up of that on our TV screens? Boom, a flush right hand from Taylor, opening up that wound again. And I guess Katie Taylor, she has been warned about holding on more than one occasion, and the referee said, I've got to call it. I've been left no choice here, and I have to make a call. Two rounds remain, and that cut, once again, that cut could become critical to the outcome of this one. The crowd that was clearly behind, the crowd clearly behind Taylor. At what point do they stop the fight? Her eye is cooked, yes. If she feels like she can go on, then I guess they're going to keep it going. They'll keep this going if she feels like she can continue. But it's been an impressive, monumental effort from Serrano. Clearly ahead on points. It's a little bit too close at the moment. Close advantage, Serrano. Katie Taylor needs to open up the space, but I think she's worn out. I think she is done. Her advantage, her reach advantage is gone, and Serrano is just working away now. Even with that cut above her right eye, Serrano is dominant. And now a flurry of left and rights. Taylor ducks a big left hook. But she is completely gassed, I think. Serrano well and truly on top here at the back end of this battle. She's ahead on points. And she is ahead as the warning bell sounds for round 9, the championship rounds. That's what they call it, right? In the championship rounds, Serrano has stood up. And I think she has clearly increased her lead here in this one. Serrano surely leading on points decision at the moment. Busted open. Katie Taylor's busted open as well. Both fighters are completely busted. They have gone from pillar to post here. UFC OnlyFans says, can't believe the doctor hasn't called this. It was a nasty looking gash. But now Katie Taylor's got one as well, huh? Both fighters with gashes above their right eye. The 10th and final round. All right. Let's see if we can go ahead and bring him on in. Oh, he joined the boxing chat. All right, let's see if we can hear him. Rick Grimes. Ah, Rick Grimes. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
What a brutal matchup this has been. My introduction to boxing could not have been more impressive than this bout that we've seen. A minute and a half remaining, and Serrano, despite that huge gash above her right eye, is dominating this battle at the back end. Katie Taylor is completely worn. Now, are we in sync on the feed, Rick, or?
Possibly. I've got a minute left in this fight.
Okay, I'm 57 seconds.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
We're very close. Very close.
Fantastic. Then I've heard just quietly that the Royal Rumble is still going on your stream.
I think it is. Yeah.
And Amanda Serrano is 30 seconds away from a points decision in this one, I would have to say. Katie Taylor has just run out of gas. She's on her last legs. That gash above the right eye. Incredible. Liam, is that Sir Liam Tobin? Sabaton Liam? Taylor had a flurry of blows at the end there as the warning bell sounds. This is her only chance.
It's all over.
It has to be a KO, otherwise Serrano's got it on points. And she knows it. The left fist is pumped. I've got to tell you. Oh, it's Speedy Liam. Okay, it's a different Liam. There you go. All right, Rick, let's just make sure that you're filtering through on TikTok as well, sir. Feel free to say something. Anything?
Oh, hello.
I think that's working. You guys on TikTok can hear Rick Grimes as well. Gathering?
Hope so. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah,
Ollie.
that's nasty.
Oh, it is incredible, isn't it? Ollie is the best. Ahoy there, mate. And ahoy to your girlfriend, Jasmine. Jasmine is a fantastic name, by the way. Ollie, have you ever told Jasmine that she has the name of a princess? Now, I've got to say, Rick, this fight went completely against. I actually thought that Katie did the. I thought she had a slight advantage just purely on the pre-match stuff, and she was so cool, calm, and collected, and she just waltzed down to the ring. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but she waltzed down to the ring. She was so cool, calm, and collected. Maybe on reflection, maybe just maybe a little too casual in that, because I felt like she was keeping stuff in reserve and might have been able to go the distance. Just she was just so casual walking down to the ring like Bad News Brown. Like Ava says that cut was insane. It was, and they kept showing close-ups of it. And if I'm not mistaken, at the back end of that fight, Katie had one as well. Cuts out the wazoo. Now, I'm just going to, let's see, I'm just going to fiddle about here, Rick, because I do have you on TikTok as well. I just need to, there it is. Okay, I just need to find the screen to get you up on the TikTok as well. All right, we can get this. God, I'm making a complete mess of the TikTok screen. But here we go. All right, we're getting there. We do now have Rick, our... Oh, God, Party Jesus gave you a perfect, like, actual, proper name. Combat... Party Jesus, are you still there? Combat correspondent, I think it was. Rick Grimes. Rick Grimes, our combat correspondent.
I love that.
Yes, I thought that was pretty cool. Rick Grimes, our combat correspondent. Ava says, my stomach was turning, but she did such a good job with not giving up. I thought it was over. I honestly thought once that cut, it was over, I thought. What? Whoa!
Wow.
Katie Taylor has been given a unanimous decision, even though she was deducted a point. Controversy abounds here. No way.
The fix is in.
Oh my God. Now, I am the first to admit that I do not understand this sport at all. That seems very controversial to me. Wow. Vobsy says, I think that's fair, to be honest. Vobsy and I were obviously watching a different fight. Unanimous decision. Unbelievable. Those early rounds were clearly won by Serrano. Now, I predicted Katie Taylor at the start. But geez, 324 blows landed to 217. The percentage slightly ahead from Serrano. Wow. Heavily disputed decision, to say the least. That was incredible. Holy hell.
The first fight between these two.
I would love to...
it was a war.
I would love to pay attention to this interview right now, but the framing on this...
Yeah,
I digress.
Is he interviewing the fighter or the...
Yeah, or the... much more interested in what's going on behind the scenes there. Sorry about that, Richard. That was my bad. I had Rick's volume up too loud. My apologies.
Booing heavily.
Yeah, Vopsy says Amanda's eye will be a bit messed up for a while. 100%. Finn on TikTok says Serrano should have won that. Well, yeah, I thought. Oh, here we go. This will be an interesting response. She was called out a couple of times for fighting dirty. I can't understand a goddamn word she's saying, to be honest. I do apologize. I don't mean anything bad by that at all. It's just I really struggle with accents.
It doesn't help that she's absolutely exhausted as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too. Oh, and a nice hug. They're hugging it out in the middle. Oh, then she immediately turned her back to her. I realized that she is approaching for an interview, and Ariel Huane is standing on that side of the screen. I feel like, there might have been some cheeky animosity there, is what I'm suggesting. The way she just sort of barreled in. Oh my God, that cut.
Ugh.
That is incredible. That's going to be some stitches. Oh, Rick, did you see the interview with Mike Tyson just prior where he had his ass hanging out?
Oh, no.
You missed that. Right before this fight, they went backstage and they had an interview with Mike Tyson, and then he turned around and walked away from the camera, and he wasn't wearing pants.
Oh, no.
All right, Rick, your thoughts? Your thoughts in at least 30 seconds as to what we can expect from this fight coming up while I go get my my other mixer.
All right, I got you. I believe the next is just the main event, right? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Let's be honest here. Mike Tyson's way too old, even if he's got the power. We all want him to win. That's completely fair. I definitely want him to win, but I think we're going to see Jake Paul just way too fast, way too agile. He's still got the spring in his step. And I think Tyson is missing that, unfortunately. Oh, okay, that was a headbutt. I did not even see that. Wow.
Yeah, they've claimed that she headbutted a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Jay Kidd says that cut is crazy. It really is. Look at that. Her face is just literally hanging open. It is insane. I'm healthy. I'm safe. Well, I mean, define healthy with that big gash above your right eye. I've got to say, I was absolutely perplexed by that decision. Unanimous, apparently, by the judges. Vobsy says, I'm trying to see the ring girls scrap. I'll tell you what, Vobsy, if the ring girls do get into a bit of a scrap, it'll be a little bit more like the only boxing that I'm familiar with that I was talking about in the pre-stream. The only boxing that I've seen prior to this is female topless boxing, and it's a lot less about the fighting and a bit more about what the ring girls have got going on in the background there, shall we say. Not trying to get myself cancelled, just being honest. I don't want to find myself ousted in a room with Vince McMahon. So, all right. Hey, Rick, have you seen on X the alleged script leaking that's happened this morning?
No. What's that? What's that about?
The script has allegedly been leaked, which has Jake Paul winning by knockout in round 5.
Interesting.
But yes, there's an actual image that's been leaked on X of the it's alleged to be the script of the main event, which is of course coming up. But I'll tell you, here's what I think's going to happen. Do you want to hear my prediction for how this fight's going to go?
Absolutely.
Here's what I think's going to happen. As we've discussed, I think that Jake Jake Paul, the young stallion, will probably have too much gas for the legend Mike Tyson. We've got to be honest. He's getting on, is Mike. I'm sure that he can still go. Can he go the full rounds, though? If Jake Paul holds his own, and the more rounds it goes on, the more I think it falls into favor of Jake Paul. And I say this with absolutely no love for Jake Paul at all. I want to see him get knocked out with the first punch, to be perfectly honest.
100%. Yeah.
But I think what's going to happen is Jake Paul will eventually knock Tyson down, right? And Tyson is going to be reeling. The match is going to be called. Tyson is going to, like, his team will come into the ring and he'll be rocked. He'll be reeling. He'll be holding his head. They'll take him out of the ring, and Logan Paul's going to come down to celebrate with his brother. Logan's going to jump onto the microphone, and they're going to start trash talking. See, Iron Mike, he couldn't go with Jake Paul. Jake Paul's the face of boxing, and blah, blah, blah. There is nobody. Jake Paul is the new American hero, the face of boxing. He is the true, real American. You know where I'm going with this immediately. And and then just as Iron Mike is, his team is around him outside the ring, and he's listening to the trash talk, but he's still a bit rocked from the knockout. And then, dun, 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 when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, here comes Hulk Hogan to the ring. He comes out and he's checking on Mike Tyson. He's like, "You all right, man? Are you all right? It's all good. You still did us proud." Hulk Hogan comes down to the ring. Logan Paul sees it. Logan Paul grabs the mic back and says, "Hulk Hogan, my brother Jake is your challenge. Step foot in this ring if you have the guts." Hulk Hogan milks the crowd. He looks around. Obviously, this is a play. If nobody's caught up yet, this is obviously a play on WrestleMania 9. And Mr. Fuji challenging Hogan. Mike Tyson is Bret Hart. Hulk Hogan is Hulk Hogan. Logan Paul is Mr. Fuji. And Jake Paul is Yokozuna. And you know what this also does, Rick? This sets up Logan Paul versus Hulk Hogan for next year's WrestleMania. All right, so obviously I'm taking the piss, but yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Gino Ferracini, ahoy there. Welcome along.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen.
Sorry, Rick.
Script.
I was just going to say, how is my Gino Ferracini over there on YouTube? How's my favorite Italian? I've got no idea if she actually is Italian or not. It's just every time I hear her name, it makes me feel like pasta. Sorry, Rick. Carry on.
I was just saying I got sent the script by Party Jesus.
Ah, yes.
And yeah, I had a little look at it. Yeah, very interesting. We'll have to see if we'll have to match up each round based on the description here to see if it's.
Well, here's what I actually here's what I more think. Obviously, I was obviously
100%
I was
real.
yeah, I was obviously just taking the
very
piss.
interesting to see if it managed to somehow match up in any way.
I was clearly just taking the piss with my WrestleMania 9 ending, but I reckon, in all honesty, though, is that the script was the quote script was purposely leaked, right? They purposely put a script out so that when it doesn't happen that way, it actually happens to another script that they will sign off on probably like 5 minutes before they go down to the ring. Because the script is not necessarily a blow-by-blow, scene-by-scene play, right? It's just a here's your bullet points. You guys know enough to go out there and make it happen. But they've released a script out to X so that when it doesn't happen that way, they can go, "See, we told you guys it wasn't fake." But that could just be the conspiracy theorist inside me taking predominance to think that everything is that manipulated. Speaking of which, there's been a subplot happening here in the feed that I've been very curious to keep an eye on, and that has been celebrity involvement in this. I've been very curious to keep an eye out for celebrities at ringside, because I would be anticipating to not see a whole lot of Kamala supporters in the crowd.
Good point. I know that both
because apparently they're supposed to be leaving the country.
Right. Well, I know that Tyson and Paul both endorsed Trump.
Right. It could have something to do with, now I was talking about this very early on the stream, is who in their right mind, God bless Rosie Perez. I've been talking about Rosie Perez. God bless her. There is a movie that I'm sure we're all familiar with called White Man Can't Jump, and Rosie Perez was in that, and I'm sure that there were a lot of damaged VHS tapes with a particular scene from that movie back in the day. But who in their right mind came up with the decision that whose voice we would love to hear for about 3 hours? Rosie Perez. The only thing that could possibly top it off is if they went, let's have Fran Drescher as the ring announcer. I mean, talk about 3 hours of just cheese grating voices. And Cedric the Entertainer, where do they... I mean, no offense to him, but where do they dig him up from? Where did they dig Cedric up from? So I understand that, obviously, as well, that by giving the rights of this fight exclusively to Netflix, they have obviously limited themselves in terms of who they can get.
Yeah.
But, holy hell.
To be honest, I thought that was Coco Beware when I first saw it.
No, there's no Frankie. Frankie would be long dead by now, to be honest. But do the bird. Tino on TikTok. Oh, by the way, yeah, Rick, you are not necessarily used to being included on a TikTok feed, are you? Because actually, no, there were a couple of Intoxigamer streams back in the day that of what was that game called that we used to play all the time? Bloody God, the name escapes me. But you, myself, Sabaton Liam used to. There were a couple of streams of that game anyway that we did on TikTok. Anyway, doesn't matter. Party Jesus says, I don't wish to hear Fran Drescher in my mind. Sorry, Party Jesus. Paul versus Tyson coming up. We are not far away. I feel like we actually timed this to perfection, almost, in a way. We had no idea when it was going to be on. It was kept very quiet. Ed Vogel says, this boxing match is all fixed. Possibly so, Ed. Possibly so. First match, the Brazil holding back so much. Honestly, I didn't see the first match or the second match. The second match shouldn't be a draw, is what he's saying. The third match, Serrano is the highlight. Yep. The third match, I thought Serrano clearly won. And I don't even know how the main event going to be played. So, yeah. Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Looking like he's about to go rob a bank after this, but he doesn't need to. Kaitsu. Ahoy, Dan. Finally, the fight of the year. I bet $200 on Paul just for strategic reasons. Fingers crossed. Hopefully this isn't scripted, though. Bobsy says, not fixed, but Jake Paul only fights people he knows cannot beat him. But funnily enough, he has lost, hasn't he?
Yeah, he lost to Tommy Fury, the brother of Tyson Fury. NBA.
Oh, you know what, Shaq? I believe you. I believe that this will happen. Shaquille O'Neal, one of my favorite moments was Shaq's podcast when he was talking about the world being flat. And his reasoning, I don't know how legitimate it is, by the way, or if he was just taking the piss. But his argument for the world being flat is he's driven from one end of America to the other, so it's flat to him.
Actually, fun fact: Gronk and Shaq, the two men on screen right now, they were both in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at one point.
Oh, there you go.
I think
Yeah.
Gronk just ran interference, but close enough.
VMKA. Vimka says, I slept through the match. Who won? Well, who do I think won, or who did the judges give it to? Which is not a problem necessarily, because, I mean, the judges went the way with my pre-match prediction. But I feel like, having watched the fight play out, didn't feel like it went that way for me, to be honest. Quietly, UFC says modern physics doesn't take into account the curvature on the Earth. Example, train track design. Sorry, I honestly didn't mean to get into flat Earth talk. I really, really didn't. I was just bringing up that that's one of my favorite, funniest clips of Shaq that are out there. Daredevil stuff on YouTube? What's Jake? I'm not all that familiar, honestly, though, I suppose, with Jake Paul's YouTube content. Does he really do Daredevil stuff?
What do you mean by Daredevil?
Oh, I don't know. It's just I was listening to the TV commentators there talk about how Jake Paul does his Daredevil stuff on YouTube. I'm not familiar enough with Jake's YouTube content. Ed Vogel says, got to give Paul the props for making boxing interesting again. UFC has been dominating the fight the last decade. Haitsu says, in terms of wrestling, though, I would say WWE is on par with the UFC. Well, funny enough. Oh, I'll be right back. Sorry.
Commentator said the straight right hand will be the deciding factor. I think Mike Tyson and Jake Paul will be fighting in about 5 to 10 minutes here. Not too long now.
All right. I have returned.
Hello.
So who we got here? This, I mean, I know that's Zedric the Entertainer. Who is the, do we know who the Samantha Irvin looking host is?
No, I'm not even sure if she's affiliated with like the boxing community. She might have just been a stand-in by Netflix themselves.
Yeah, she's a Netflix person. A Netflix contracted host. Richard Trainer, I'm assuming here, is talking about Zedric the Entertainer, saying he's not funny at all and couldn't entertain a crowd if he paid them all to be at his show. I haven't, honestly, before today, I haven't heard the name Zedric the Entertainer for years.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I said, like, I wasn't even taking the piss when I said, where did they dig him up from? Like, I wasn't meaning to be insulting. I was just legitimately, where have they dug these people up from? Rosie Perez, Cedric the Entertainer. Like, were they honestly, so many celebrities have left America because Donald Trump won the election that they're bringing up names from the 90s. Wangu Bunda says Andre is legit. Gotta be honest, Wangu, I'm not entirely certain what's going on there. Andre the Giant, are you talking about? He was very legit from what I've heard. Watch the Cat Williams interview. Okay. Whoops. Oh, Jesus. Nearly made a complete mess of that. Charles Viner says last chance at fame. Who? Me? I'd like to think not. Richard Trainer says to be entertainer, you must be out of sync dance and put on a good show. He can't do none of that. Oz Surge says that chick's eyebrow was hanging off her face. Tough stuff right there. And not only was her eyebrow hanging off her face, she deserved the win. I thought, I'm stunned that it was unanimous judges' decision. No, I understand, Charles. I'm just being a knob. I'm just being a knob. It's what I do.
Oh, the legend, Roy Jones Jr.
There's Rosie Perez, Rick. Do you recognize her? Maybe not with clothes on. Okay, you do. Sorry.
And Mauro Ranello. I believe Mauro did a lot of commentating for the NXT version of WWE.
Right. Is that who that is? There you go.
Yeah,
I love how the sponsorship is. We're seeing a replay here of one of Jake Paul's knockouts of and a big right hook there, and the dude that got knocked down just conveniently went face down to expose the sponsorship on his ass of Dude Wipes. Very convenient, or it's all right, Charles. My keyboard is off to the side. I am, yeah. Honestly, if you saw my studio setup here, everything, all the electronic equipment, all the expensive soundboard mixers, stream decks, and keyboards, and everything are all safely off to the side of me. It just spills straight down at my feet. And then the only thing I have to be concerned about when that happens is my dog getting very inquisitive and wandering over and cleaning it up off the floor. Not good when you get your dog drunk, you know? She's all right at the moment, though. She's got no idea what's going on. She is over there with her Elmo. She's got her Elmo doll. She's fast asleep. I'll tell you, way back before I was streaming, the family pet was a German Shepherd, and I'll tell you what, like a German Shepherd is a little bit more capable of coping with the spillage of bourbon. All right. Yeah. He loved it. He got drunk quite a few times. Old Chester. The very first time though was interesting. It was. He came bounding on over and licked up the spillage and then probably not immediately, but like 5 minutes later, oh, hey, Logan Paul's there. My prediction might not be too far wrong, Rick. Logan Paul is there. He's going to play the Mr. Fuji role. I wonder what he's talking about at the moment with Jake. I wonder what the discussion is, because honestly, buddy, out of the two, I think Logan's found his calling in pro wrestling. Jake is probably the better boxer of the two, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just about to say, I don't think Logan is offering boxing advice because that would be a lost cause.
Yeah, he's probably offering him entertainment advice more than anything.
Yeah, how to make it look like a massive show. Oh, these Mike Tyson highlights of actual boxing is fantastic. Turning back the clock.
Ah, I didn't have time to organize it because, as I've said to people, this was a little bit of a. I wouldn't say that it was a last second decision, but we only decided a couple of days ago that we would stream this. I wanted to have on the soundboard for the match introductions the old WWE Vince McMahon intro for Iron Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it would be fantastic. Former D-Generation X member Mike Tyson.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I don't want to digress too much, but yeah, I don't think they played that off very well. The whole DX and then sudden siding with Stone Cold. I feel like that could have I feel like that could have played out a bit better, personally, but
yeah, I feel like they were just sort of working around Mike Tyson's schedule, so they sort of had to rush things.
Yes. Richard. Richard, trainer, all I can say, mate, is I've said from the very start, just me speaking personally. Me speaking personally, honestly, mate, I don't follow boxing. I don't know the first thing about boxing. I've said that from the very start. So yeah, I'm just, I don't know what to tell you, mate. Boxing is not my forte. I'm just looking at it from a purely physical aspect, and I know that there's a lot more. There's obviously a lot more to it than that. But yeah, I've said from the very start, me personally, Richard, I don't know the first thing I'm talking about, so don't take me seriously at any point throughout this stream. Gino Ferracini, you're off to work, are you? Catch you later, Gino Ferracini. Every time, Rick, every time I hear that name, I'm just like, I want pasta now. I would love a good fettuccine carbonara. Not a thing, I know, but Bobsy says if you expect the worst, you cannot be disappointed. That honestly used to be my my complete outlook on life in general. What's my favorite overall pasta?
Ooh.
Am I allowed to say lasagna?
What about penne? Do you like a good penne?
Yeah, well, see, this is what I was wondering. It's like, are you asking me for a specific type of smaller pasta or a pasta dish as it would appear on a menu? Yeah, well, I think lasagna is a pasta as well, but it just it depends on what you're asking me.
Here we go.
It is time for the main event of the evening. Oh God, who's doing the national anthem? Who? Who's Tori Kelly? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I think the crowd is with me on this one. Yes, if we're talking types of pasta, I think penne wins every day of the week. I would agree with that. I chuck some penne in dishes that aren't even meant to have penne in it necessarily, like spaghetti bolognese, for example. I know you can have penne bolognese is an actual thing that you can do, but it's just like, you know what I'm saying? If I had the choice, spaghetti bolognese with spaghetti or penne, I'm choosing penne. She was popular in the 2013 to 2017 era. Ah, well, that makes sense as to why we've got her doing the national anthem and why we've had Rosie Perez and Zedric the Entertainer out there. It makes sense. We may as well have a throwback for the anthem as well. Oh, hang on. I think I might actually know who this is. What's her name again? Tori Kelly.
Yeah, I think so.
Glad you were paying attention, Rick. T- I think I might have actually liked one of her songs back in the day.
Oh.
Hang on, I'll see. Tori Kelly comes up first in the YouTube search results. Don't worry about a thing. Hang on, was she on like American Idol or something? All in my head, dear no one. I might have to look further into that. I feel like I might have actually had one of her songs on rotation once.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Thank you for that. Anyways, Maori Mamba over there on the TikTok. I very much appreciate the knowledge bomb. We've had some throwbacks here for sure. Throwbacks and a half on the coverage today. Oh, there's old mate from that show.
Ooh.
Ah.
Yeah, not a fan of that guy.
Jesus, I thought that was Bailey next to him. Who's that guy?
They didn't even put a name up.
Ah,
That's the actor, Joe Manganiello or something like that. That's Charlize Theron. It seems like
Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh, Karate Kid. Then it's
Joe Jonas.
Jonas
Okay.
Brothers.
I needed them to tell me who that was as well. I'm sorry. Shaq, yeah, we know Shaq. Oh, that's the loudest pop of the night. No mistake. No mistake in that.
No, I like how the nameplate for the first person came up and then the production team gave up.
Yeah, they screwed. Yep. We don't care. We don't care anymore. No, Bobsy, unsurprisingly, absolutely none of the celebrities have left yet. America.
Yeah.
Least of all, Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, but did you hear what she's doing? She's going on a strike.
Fantastic.
I don't know if I can say what type of strike she's going on, but it's absolutely hilarious that she thinks that'll do anything.
A vow of silence would be nice from all the ladies of the View. That would be fabulous. Luke and Cloudsley, ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. Jake Paul is 6 foot, maybe just under. Fair enough,
right.
yeah.
This boxing fight is actually, the rules have been modified.
Yes.
Yeah, gloves are bigger, rounds are shorter. And the overall number of rounds was supposed to be 10, and they're only doing 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
So they have changed some of the rules, I think, to cater to both men on what would be the most preferable environment for them.
There you go.
That's actually an impressive stat for Jake Paul. Has KO'd or knocked down every opponent he's faced.
In matches he's won.
No, in both. So he's in the
Right.
matches he lost, he still managed to knock down.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Queen Marty, 69, you cheeky bugger, in there watching the match on Discord, but not coming into the chat room and talking to us. Queen Marty, 60. I always used to get a giggle. Queen Marty was a follower on the Intoxigamer days. I always used to giggle like a child at her username. Queen Marty, 69. Oh, what have we got coming up here? The ring entrances is what we've got coming up. You've been called out, Queen Marty. I've spotted you. Oh. Now, this is interesting. Is this Jake Paul coming to the ring first? Jake Paul's getting the heel entrance.
It's personal now, he says.
Yeah, actually, buddy Logan Paul put out a tweet about how the Tyson slap, made the fight personal, ignoring the fact that Tyson lashed out and had the slap because Jake Paul stood on his toe. Unintentionally, I'm sure. Well, maybe it was intentional. But the only reason that, because Tyson didn't just randomly explode and slap. If you watch the footage back, Jake Paul rolls on up towards him and actually stood on his toe. Is why he reacted and went, you son of a bitch. Slap.
I love this WWE-esque type of entrance here.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? Here they come. Jake Paul is getting the heel entrance. He's coming out to the ring first, and there's there's Coco Beware's bird.
Oh, it's Mike Tyson's pigeon. They bloody kidnapped it. Imagine that, a pigeon on a pole match.
Oh, jeez.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Maybe that's the next installment of this rivalry.
Ah, right. Who's going to hire Vince Russo to book that one? No, I'm only joking. I love Vinny Roo. I've got nothing against. He did love his pole matches, though. That's a fair criticism of his work. Loved his pole matches. Now this is a very slow. This is like a funeral procession, whatever the word is that I'm looking for. Very slowly making their way down to the ring here. In the air tonight. Very relaxed. As if this Party Jesus says, as if this song isn't a taunt to Mike, though.
Yeah, Jake is playing the last minute psychological factors.
I'm surprised.
Did you see that?
No? What happened?
Someone just threw a bottle at Jake Paul's head.
Okay, yeah, I turned around and saw the reaction. I didn't actually see what happened. Captain Redbeard says Jake Paul with hangover vibes.
Yep.
Mike Tyson comes to the ring with a tiger in his cage.
Oh, that would be one of the greatest things ever.
That'd be one of the all-time great television moments. Nice to see Jake Paul's been taking fashion tips from Seth Rollins.
Yeah, just wearing the most bloody out of this world gear.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Mike Tyson ready to come to the ring. Oh, please be a tiger in a cage. They might look back on this and go, oh, damn it, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah.
You absolutely should, Captain Redbeard. Charles Viner says Seth is from my area. Very nice. I would just love to have. The old Seth back. Not this incarnation of Seth Rollins that we've got now, who is still a solid performer, just a very uninteresting character, in my opinion. But I digress. All right, what's the music? Well, we don't know yet.
It's well, right now they're playing DMX. X gon' give it to ya.
Oh, and they finished with the slap. The iconic slap.
I'm not gonna lose.
The rumors were it was going to be an Eminem song, but I find that hard to believe. Oh, ready to roll. Here he comes. Is he wearing pants? He wasn't in the... What's the song? I can't make it out. All right, I'm going to have a quick break while Mike makes his way to the ring with no flair. Really, he is all business, you could say.
Yeah, I think I know he used to wear that black garb during his entrances back in the day. So I guess it's an homage to himself. Better times, better days. But it's interesting that the younger fighter came out on a vehicle, and then the older fighter is walking. You'd think it would be the other way.
Oh, God. All right, my Netflix is frozen.
Yeah, nope, that happened to me too.
So yeah, because the fight's about to start, so all the bandwidth. Enjoy overload. What's happened? It's yeah, same, says Party Jesus. See, what's happened is the main event has got underway, and it's just been an overload of bandwidth. They weren't ready for it. Surprisingly, they weren't ready for it. There we go. All right, we're back on now. That is hilarious. They were not ready for the rush of people that are like, okay, the fight's on. The fight's about to start. That is hilarious. Oh, God. And closed captioning is back on. But now, hopefully, Rick, this hasn't put us completely out of sync. That little...
Yeah, they sort of like put me right where it left off, so it's definitely behind. He's in the ring though for me.
Yep, I've got the announcements happening right now. This is your main event of the evening. Party Jesus says, I left my farm sim save as Mike was about to come on, and the Farm Sim 25 menu music came on at the perfect time. I don't know what the Farm Sim 25 music is, but if it works, fabulous. Fabulous. Well, yeah, hopefully that hasn't completely screwed us up too badly. Are you watching on PC, Rick, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, PC on Netflix.
Yeah, because there is obviously, I'm assuming this is for the benefit of other people. I'm assuming that you know the ins and outs of how to work it, but there is the little red button on the right hand side that says live that you can click to jump it forward to the current live feed.
Yeah, I'm currently on. It's got Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's got the stats up. Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty close anyway. I think. Tyson gang all day, says MMT 676. I love the introduction. He's a boxer, a content creator. Self-proclaimed ace of boxing. Very important. Very important wording. Self-proclaimed. Tyson has got the crowd support. Listen to that just wave of cheers build up as they realized he was about to get introduced. He's only 5'10", huh? Wow. Okay. I honestly thought that I was too small to be a boxer. There you go. Well, to be honest, not something I was ever interested in the first place, but
What is? Oh, that's his. Is that his? Who is that on his left pectoral muscle there? Is that
yeah,
his?
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. Knee Crumbler, ahoy, mate. Warriors are Tyson supporters. Therefore, Knee Crumbler, I'm gathering that Mike Tyson to win by judge's decision 1,200 to 0. Am I right? Yeah, that's a good question, Rick. Who is that there on his hit? Iron Mike Tyson. The crowd is firmly behind him.
They're down.
I don't mean any disrespect at all, but is referee Mills Lane still alive? I'm assuming he's probably pretty old now. I was just thinking, like, Mills Lane would be fantastic. Be the ref of this. DJ Shack, ahoy, mate. Oh, we're ready to go. All right, what have we got? 8 rounds, you said, Rick?
Yep.
8
rounds.
2-minute rounds. The longer this goes on, you feel like Jake Paul has the advantage. Mike Tyson could, though, come firing out of the gates here and put him on his ass with a couple of clean hits.
And only 2 minutes for each one, so they're going to be over pretty quickly.
The bell is rung, and now Tyson moving forward. Look at the speed that he moves forward with. And they tie up. Oh, you feel like this is going to be a big part of the game plan for Jake Paul. Tying Tyson up. He's got to hook up.
Oh, Jake Paul's already trying to land his trademark overhand right. That's his knockout punch.
Oh, nice jab from Tyson.
Oh, God. Wouldn't it just be great if Mike Tyson actually just knocked him out cold?
I mean, it'd probably be terrible for the stream to be over so quickly, but yeah, you would love to see it. DJ Shaq says if this was prime Tyson, Jake Paul would be cooked.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
They tie up again. Again, it's Paul tying up. The crowd boos. They don't want to see a tie-up. They want to see a fight. Oh, Tyson, I don't know if he rocked him or if Paul just sort of fell over his own feet there momentarily.
Yeah. I think he just got out of there awkwardly. Landing the jabs to the body. Oh, he went to the head.
Tyson's loving it. Tyson backs him into the ropes. What was the warning for there?
Above
waist.
It was a low blow.
The warning bell sounds. And yeah, Jake Paul wants nothing to do with it. Honestly, Jake, he is just trying to get this to go the distance. You feel like if it goes the distance, we've talked about that he probably has the advantage. And that was just, as soon as that warning bell sounded, Paul immediately retreated. He wanted nothing more to do with that round. But interesting to see. Interesting to see that first round now in the books. No one really gaining any ascendancy this early on, of course. DJ Shaq says if it goes the distance, Jake Paul probably wins. If it ends in a knockout, Tyson probably wins. Ready for round two. They bump gloves in the middle. Paul trying to keep the distance. He is definitely, he is, Tyson does go the leap, lunges forward at him, but that is clearly what's happening here. Paul keeping the distance and saying to Mike, you come at me, mate. Wear yourself out. We are going the 8 rounds. You come at me. Which is smart, by the way. That is no criticism. Oh, and he's got the arms down. There's Jake. He's got the arms down saying, come at me. He wants him to punch himself out. But at the moment, Mike is not falling for it. He's just staying in the middle of the ring. And they tie up again in the middle of the ring. The referee will have to step in and separate them. So it's a bit of a standoff at the moment. Jake is keeping the space open and saying, come at me. Exert your energy. And Tyson is going, you know what? I'll just stand here. Thanks, mate. A little bit uninteresting at the moment in that respect. But it's also that game of human chess that's going on at the moment that does keep it interesting. Now Tyson lunges forward with the left, doesn't make contact. Not flush contact anyway. Paul backing off as the bell sounds, the 10-second warning. And they're just going to see this round out as well. Oh, a late left hook there from Tyson, trying to catch him napping. And that is the end of round two. Crowd winner, Geordie Boys asks who's winning. A little bit early to tell. I'd say that there were two pretty clear stalemate rounds as both fighters just going through a feeling out process. Jake is keeping the distance, inviting Tyson to exert his energy. Tyson is not falling for it at the moment. He's resisting the urge, fighting what I'm sure is frustration at the pace of this fight. I would say two clear stalemate rounds. Round 3 underway. 3 of 8. Tyson comes out firing here. He's had enough. He's not interested now in Jake Paul keeping this space.
He's gone for the knockout here. He's biting the glove.
The alleged... Paul gets a couple of lefts in. Mike's hurt. He's rocking. Low shot, body shot there from Paul. Tyson misses a right hook. Oh, good shots here from Jake. Good hits from Jake Paul. There is no way Mike can go the distance.
Yeah, it's only round 3, and he's so tired.
Standoff again. Paul comes out with a couple of left jabs. Tyson keeps him at bay for now. 30 seconds to go in this round. Mike looking gassed. Nicole Payne, ahoy there. Mike just looks absolutely gassed. Is he lulling Jake into a false sense of security here, trying to get him to move forward? It could be a masterstroke if that's what's happening here. The warning bell sounds for round 3. And again, nothing happening. He's so gassed.
Yeah.
Tyson's gassed, man. The script could be on point at the moment. That 5th round knockout could be on point. Iron Mike Tyson, a legend as he might be, looks absolutely gassed. Let's be honest. How are you, Nicole Payne? A proud winner, Judy boys. This is exclusively on Netflix. I'm pretty certain Netflix exclusive. The Knee Crumbler says if they gave Mike some cones, he would have a second win. Second wind.
Here we go.
Round 4. We're almost halfway through this one. Oh, excuse me. All right, Tyson. He's had a little bit of a rest. And it's just been a dance-off in the middle of the ring at the moment, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that the unofficial scorecards have Mike Tyson winning so far, which is...
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very interesting.
Well, we've seen strange things happen, like, for example, that match before.
And speaking of Stranger Things, we are on Netflix, and you can find Stranger Things streaming now.
What a segue. What an ad spot.
I'm not even getting paid for it.
Yeah. What an ad spot. That was beautiful.
Oh, missed the right hand. Jake's actually missing quite a lot this round.
Yeah, he's just keeping it going. Jake, you get the feeling there. Jake's keeping, this is just my opinion, knowing nothing really about the sport, is Jake's keeping the distance, trying to force Mike to exert energy by taking the fight to him. At the moment, Mike Tyson's going, nah, not really having any of it. And so it's just this standoff in the middle of the ring.
Also keeping the distance going means more money for you. Floyd Mayweather used to do that.
Oh, yes.
A lot of fights, he'd keep the fight going because he makes more money the longer it goes.
Yeah, fair enough. Keep that advertising revenue going up.
Yep.
That is now the second person in the chat room that has said that somebody needs to give Mike a stick of weed and he'll smash Jake Paul. We had the knee crumbler earlier say that if they give Mike some cones, he'd have a second win, and now we've had another person say that if they give him some weed, he'll smash Jake Paul. He looks completely gassed. Poor Mike limps his way over towards the corner as another round comes to an end.
We're officially halfway.
We are officially halfway, and if the script is anything to go by, the alleged leaked script, then this next round will be the end. This will be where it ends, according to the leak. That'll be interesting to see.
Look at that.
Oh, big gut punch there.
I think that was the only clean punch of that round, honestly. Here we go.
Round 5. Officially half the distance done. All right. Jake looks like he's bringing it forward a little bit. Still keeping the distance, though.
Yeah, see, Jake, and I said this earlier when you went away, when I shared my prediction of this fight.
Oh, yes.
This exact thing. Like, Jake is going to have the spring in his step, which he certainly does right now, and yeah, Tyson's just...
The longer it goes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, a bit of bob and weave there. Oh, but that massive right just missing.
Yep, this, according to the leak, this should be the knockout, and Jake looks like he... maybe he's a really poor actor, because it seemed like he came out to start this round with a lot more enthusiasm. But again, he's just keeping the distance, saying to Mike, you bring the fight to me. Mike is resisting the urge. He's just waiting for an opportunity. It's a battle of patience at the moment. Tyson backing up into the ropes. Tyson now rocked with a left hook from Paul. Paul keeps his hands down, inviting Tyson in.
Cleanest punch Tyson's landed all fight.
Jake Paul flirting with danger here by keeping those hands down. Tyson...
He's doing the Philly shell defense.
Tyson just needs one clean blow. But 15 seconds to go. There is the warning bell. Paul is on top. 5 rounds done. Ah, poor Tyson just limping to the corner. Looking absolutely gassed.
His coach is saying you got to move forward this next round.
Oh, lush right hand there from Paul.
Right in the nose, and hopefully we get to see the Tyson left hook that he landed. Yeah, here. Boom.
Oh, right on the chin.
Yeah, almost to the throat there.
And Paul just pokes his tongue out. Says, give me another one of those. Round 6. And the distance has shortened a little bit, but still, Paul trying to maintain that.
Paul is now up on the unofficial scorecard.
I should imagine so, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he should have been in the first 3 rounds. I don't know what fight those scorers were watching, but Oh,
I,
what
I
a
would,
jab.
I would love nothing more than for Mike to be faking and just luring Paul in for a false sense of security.
Yeah, and then round 8 or something, he just completely comes out the gate and knocks him out.
Yeah, like he was saving everything for the final round. That would be great. Paul with a flurry of shots. Didn't really connect with anything.
Body and then head and right hand. Jab. It's just teeing off now.
$36 to go here. Round 6 of 8. Tyson, he's just taking everything, it feels like. He hasn't really had an opportunity to move forward and have a crack. Now he goes forward, has a couple of jabs, doesn't make contact. Warning bell sounds. And Paul is happy to just keep the space. Knows that he's got the points decision here. Well, it's been, I've got to be honest. I mean, oh, look, I've said right from the very start, boxing is not my sport. We're obviously only covering this out of sheer morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
Boxing is not a thing that's going to become a regular content source on the channel, unlike UFC, which next year will be a lot more active. But so I don't understand the first thing about it, as I've said, but this feels like a little bit of a nothing burger of a bout at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, you've got Jake Paul, who's not a seasoned boxer, against a 58-year-old man who used to be a sensational boxer but is way past his prime. So it's yeah, it's a little bit. Oh, there we go, Tyson with a left
Tyson
hook.
with a lunge and another lunge. All right. Has he been holding this in the tank for the last 2 rounds? Well, Richard, honestly, the last thing in the world I'm going to do is be taking the piss out of anybody for having thinning hair, because it'd be a very different story if I didn't have mine grown out with a top ponytail hanging over to. But then I'm a lot older than Jake Paul, so it is what it is. You either cop it or you don't, I suppose. It's one of those things that happen. Defunk, ahoy, mate. Defunk says if it goes to points, can they give it to Paul for not knocking out a 60-year-old? 48 seconds to go here. Round 7. And, yeah, this is my introduction into boxing.
Yeah. The second to last round, still not much has happened here.
Oh, Paul's opened it up now. A good left hook.
Yeah, oh, he's landing now.
12 seconds to go. There's the warning bell. Paul's just going for the points decision here, I think. Tyson has got to get KO in the 8th round. There we go. There's 2 minutes left in this one. Paul, I would say, is clearly ahead on points. Tyson has got to come out and look for the knockout punch here in round 8, I dare say.
Yeah, that was quite a few shots there landed by Jake Paul in that second last round. But here we go. This is the final round, and Mike Tyson's still in his corner.
Yeah, he hasn't stood up yet. The poor guy is absolutely gassed. Well, this is it. The final 2 minutes. Can Tyson just land a flush blow? Has he kept it all in the tank? Zach's TV, ahoy there. No, they're keeping the distance here. Keeping the distance. Tyson backing off. Trying to lure Paul in. One thing I have enjoyed, like, I love chess. You might not know it to look at me, but I'm a big fan of chess. And this is a little bit of a game of human chess at the moment. Paul has kept the space and invited Tyson in. Tyson's resisted the urge. It has led to a very boring boxing bout, but I can appreciate the game of human chess that we're seeing unfold here.
Absolutely. Looks like Jake is trying to land even more here.
He's got less than a minute here. Mike Tyson, less than a minute to try and make something happen.
Crowd erupting in boos.
Yep. He's not. They're not even fighting. Well, to be fair, he's completely gassed, is Tyson. I don't know if he's got the energy to do anything but defend. Oh, good shot with the right there from Paul. 25 seconds to go. Tyson, he's so gassed he can't even throw a punch at the moment, I'm afraid. Well. There's the warning bell.
Yep, it's about to be.
He's not interested. Tyson, he's not interested. Jake is saying, have a shot. No, they've ended the bout. That was the warning bell. They've ended the bout. The end was the ultimate insult. They took a bow. They didn't even fight all the way to the final bell. That was pretty insulting. That was sort of like an acknowledgement, a bow that was like, all these suckers, we got their money. Well, what can you say about that? I mean, Jake Paul has clearly won the fight. There can be no two ways about that.
Yeah.
Tyson was just completely gassed from about round 3 or 4. Completely gassed. He was very slow to get up out of the corner. And by the end, did he even throw a punch in the 8th round? He couldn't even get the energy to throw a punch.
Yeah, I think the only punch he threw, I think, were the ones he was throwing in his head. Unfortunately, he didn't throw any in reality. Is that Damian Sandow on the left over there?
I wish. The man deserves TV time.
Yeah, the intellectual savior of the masses. And
the unofficial scorecard has Jake Paul winning, and quite a comfortable decision. And I guess he just couldn't go at the end of the day. Aaron888 on TikTok says, when is he going to stop fighting washed up fighters and fight a real boxer? Well, unfortunately, Aaron, the reality is he doesn't need to. Son of a bitch is making all kinds of fame and fortune out of doing what he's doing. And people like us and people obviously way bigger than us keep covering it. He's going to keep doing it, isn't he? And that's no disrespect. That is not a criticism. That's smart. More power to him.
You know, Jake Paul's definitely playing it clever. You know, he's fighting all these much older people, but at least they have histories of when they were younger. when they were really good. So his
That's it.
record is just, full of old boxing legends and former MMA fighters.
Razor 994 going without food for the rest of the week just so I could afford the sub to watch this abysmal fight. Well, Netflix is not that expensive these days, Razor. I completely understand the sentiment. I really do. That has not made me interested in boxing. This was an opportunity. Hang on. Here comes the official call. The official call, like we have any doubt as to what it's going to be.
Oh my. Oh no, okay, never mind. Yeah, Jake Paul by unanimous decision.
Oh, what a surprise.
And Logan Paul knocks off Jake Paul's hat.
What's he spraying him with? Deodorant? Logan's in the background like, you stink, mate. I can't even bear to stand behind you right now.
And Mike Tyson put out his hand to shake. Oh, there we go. There's the handshake.
But yeah, Razor, honestly, I don't think that Netflix subscription price. Well, maybe it's different. Are you from Australia, Razor? Because here in Australia, you can get a Netflix subscription for like $7, $7 Australian. That's not that is not in Australia anyway. Knocking you off groceries for the week to sign up for.
I do believe that plan though is the one that includes ads.
Yes, it is.
So
Yep.
if you don't like ads, you only have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah. It is indeed the ad, but they're all doing that now too. Like even Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has started throwing ads in. Like, wasn't this the whole purpose for me having a subscription in the first place? Well, they're even doing it on YouTube. Like, apparently YouTube Prime now will be sneaking ads in. Proud with a dirty boy says, is Logan Paul a boxer too? I'm sure that he would like to think so. Inspiration, says Jake Paul. Can't understand a word that Mike Tyson is saying.
Yeah.
The poor guy is so gassed right now. Very happy about the payday today as well, I should imagine. I have a biting fixation. I love it. That is one of the ultimate. You know, Mike Tyson is always good for a soundbite in his interviews. What's with the biting of the glove? I've got a biting fixation. Brilliant. It seems like a pretty unanimous opinion in the chat room that Mike Tyson would have done better if he had some pre-match cones. Razor says, paid good money to see Paul get that Rocky IV outcome, or at least lose an ear. Me and the kids won't be eating because of the sub costs. But we were hoping at least Mike Tyson got a feed out of it. Once again, I go back to the fact that the subscription costs of Netflix are not that high that you can't afford food. Mike Tyson wants to fight Logan now. Oh, WrestleMania. Here we come. WrestleMania. Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson. It's happening. Frank Boff, ahoy, mate. Well, I don't know if we should be surprised at all or not, Rick, but wow, that was a load of horse shit. I mean, that was really, really bad. This was an opportunity for, as I said at the top of the stream, we don't normally cover boxing. And this, I suppose, is why it's got a little bit of I suppose it's got a little bit of the old school wrestlers view on modern day indie wrestling vibes about it, right? In what I'm about to say, and you'll see what I mean after I say it. Is this was an opportunity on the world stage to create new fans for boxing, but ultimately, like myself, not a boxing fan, just out of sheer morbid curiosity, I've tuned in and I saw a circus act. I will never watch boxing again. It was an opportunity to put but no, they've made a farce out of it. And I suppose you understand what I'm saying. It's sort of relatable to like the indie clown shows that turn people off professional wrestling. This has just set professional boxing back years, in my opinion. And as somebody who was never a fan of boxing in the first place, might not be worth a whole lot, but wow, that was. I mean, I as I said though, at the time, I enjoyed the game of human chess, but in a game of human chess, it wasn't a fair fight. Like,
yeah,
Jake Paul was clearly, in my opinion, I can't say clearly because I'm not an expert on the sport, so that's not fair for me to say clearly. But it seemed to me like Paul knew that he was always going to get the points decision. He was always going to have it in the bag, so he kept the distance and just invited Tyson to come at him, bring the fight to me. I'm just going to stand here. And now Mike Tyson has enough restraint, I suppose. He has enough to he was containing himself and waiting for opportunity. He wasn't going to just lunge out and take himself out of his fight, his form, if that makes sense. Yeah. So we as viewers were on a little bit of a hiding to nothing. So I would have thought that maybe X amount of years ago, maybe Mike Tyson has a little bit more in the tank in those last couple of rounds. I don't recall him even throwing a shot in the 8th round.
Yeah.
The opportunities were there. I felt. Jake was showboating and keeping the gloves down, and he didn't have anything at all left in the tank to even throw a punch. Yeah, really, really, really disappointing. As a non-fan, this is not in any capacity made me interested in future boxing fights. Personally speaking.
A sad, defeated Mike Tyson walking to the back.
Walking to the bank, more like. Like he doesn't, I'm sure he doesn't need any more money. But by God, I mean, once you've tasted money, you want more. You might not need it, but you want it. Oh, God. Well, that's depressing commentary. I didn't want to see Mike take a bad fall tonight or anything bad happen to him. I wanted to see a fight, is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a fight, a contest. I also want to find out who this host is. Not the guy talking, the Samantha Irving looking one on the left. I think you knew that though, Rick.
Yeah.
I think you've known me long enough to know. Yeah. Just for the benefit of those who might. Tremendous fight. Well, you got paid to say that, mate.
Yeah, the Netflix ambassadors are jumping in the chat.
That's it. A fantastic fight was the absolute last phrasing I would have used to describe what we saw. Do I regret covering it? No, not at all. It was something a little different. It was a little bit of fun. I don't regret covering it at all. But it was abysmal viewing. I appreciate, as I said, I appreciate the human chess about it. Wasn't great though.
Yeah. I know that Netflix obviously will be getting Monday Night Raw as of next year.
Yes.
What's funny is it'd be hilarious if you get people who are just on Netflix who tune into Monday Night Raw, but they don't watch SmackDown or the pay-per-view, so they're absolutely confused about what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, this guy's champion now? Wait a minute. When did this happen?
Yeah, well that's it. Are you venturing up to Brisbane for the AEW show? Contemplating it?
Yeah, I'm contemplating it just because it's it would be
You don't
a
need
pretty cool show, I think.
You don't need to explain it to me. I know you're a fan. I got told I need to go. I got told I need to go. I've even had Jace, who co-hosted the Royal Rumble stream with us.
Oh, yep.
He's like, oh man, you've got to go. You've got to come with me. All right, dude, you realize? Oh, but man, I'll pay for you and everything. You've got to come with me, dude. I said, do you really want that? Do you really want me sitting there in the stands with cornet face on? just savaging everything that's on in front of me. I said, do you really want that? So, as transpires at the moment, I might even be there myself. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
So if you do come up for it, that'll be something we'll need to tee up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you know.
All right. Wasted World of Sports. Disappointing, huh? Disappointing. Say the least. Oh, there was a little bit of dry humping going on there in the opening bout. I didn't see that. But, well, like I said, I wasn't watching that opening bout. All right. Yeah, disappointing fight overall, I would say. And, yeah, an opportunity missed. I mean, geez, I almost feel like they I almost feel like they probably should have staged it if they didn't. Because this was an opportunity for boxing on the world stage, and I suppose at the end of the day, in total fairness, boxing probably doesn't need the help. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they certainly have not. They have not grasped the opportunity to make a fan out of me in the slightest. That was quite dull.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I thank you very much for being with us, anyways, and checking this out here, the Paul versus Tyson fight, a special edition of the Wasted World of Sports. Thank you very much, Rick, for being part of it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And yes, we'll be doing a lot more UFC in the future, and as I've said, don't want to take you away from your regular things with your mates on UFC nights, but any time that you're available for future UFC bouts, do feel free to sing out, and we'll have you on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because obviously, yeah, as I've said on the Discord, I've quit my job now. I do this streaming thing full time. I'm living the dream, and UFC will be a big part of this channel moving forward into 2025. So I do need the heads up from people on what's worth covering as far as UFC events go, because I understand that there's probably ones that aren't necessarily worth it. Like I wouldn't take away from my focus on rugby to cover a nothing burger of a match. So, but that'll be all coming up in 2025 anyway, as this channel continues to grow and continues to move forward into the future here on the Wasted World of Sports. So, bottoms up. Yes, very nice. All right, thank you so much for your company on this one. We'll be back for some rugby union coming up tomorrow morning. Outside of that, we'll catch you guys when we catch you. Thank you once again, Rick. And for those tuning in and joining us, very much appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time. Yes. Until then, cheers. I'm still trying to figure out what that game was that we used to play, Rick. The three of us.
Yeah, what was that bloody game?
Dying Light 2, is that a thing that we did?
We did play it. I remember that we definitely played it, us too. I can't remember if Liam joined in or not.
That was a thing, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, that might have been it. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to go sleep. Actually, no, I'm going to go eat. So. All right. Catch you guys next time. Thank you so much. Cheers, everyone.